Alright guys, if you're new to the channel, this is my 26.5-foot Aquasport. I've been rebuilding and making it, well, restoring, making it look a hell of a lot better than the way I got it. If you see this boat in person, man, it looks phenomenal. There's a couple things that still need work, obviously, but it looks freaking really good for the most part. Like, when I drive this thing around, people are like, oh, your boat looks really nice. And thank you for that, guys. So I love it. My favorite boat so far. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna show you guys everything I've done to the boat, to the trailer, to everything, motor, everything. Okay, so let's start off with the trailer just because we're right here. This right here, the hitch to the truck, it was rusted as crap. This is the only part of the trailer that's not aluminum besides the base of that. So I put some paint on here. This is that truck bed liner stuff, just to cover it. It's been holding up really good. It's real thick, so we shouldn't have any more issues with that. This is an adapter for the trucks that only have like the 7-pin connector. So as you can see right here, we got the 4-prong. It plugs into there, and now you have lights if you have a truck that only has the 4-prong. So we put a little coupler lock as well. The jack is original. Haven't done nothing to the jack. I'll talk about this in a second. We put a winch on there. This is actually a temporary winch that I had to buy in the moment because the big one I bought, the handle broke. So I'm in the process of fixing the big one. The big one's a I think 4,500 pound winch. This one right here is pretty shitty. It's like a 1,500 or 1,200 pound winch. So this trailer post right here with the lights on it, the last time I took the boat out, this thing was not bolted down the trailer tight, and pretty much when I docked the boat, it filled up with water and it just sank. So I had to cut it off, and I gotta put it back on this side and just reinforce it. This is the original one. I always like to keep a little extra chain here in case something terrible happens. I put a little bit of JB weld right here because there was a little bit of room where it was kind of separated, just to make it look a little better. So the bottom paint is black. Originally it was blue. I had to sand the entire bottom paint. It took me weeks to finish, by myself, of course. It took me forever. Once I sanded it down to the bare fiberglass, put some black bottom paint on it. This obviously wasn't the same color. It was white. I didn't have to sand that too much. That held up pretty good. Didn't do anything to the trailer, tires, bearings, nothing like that. Let's see. So this rub rail right here on both sides was originally blue, and it just looked terrible. Obviously I should have bought a new one, but for the time being I just painted around black just so it would kind of match the boat. These are Lenco trim tabs. I didn't have to do anything. These worked perfectly when I bought the boat. And if you don't know, I bought this boat with the engine, with everything, for $1,500, and the trailer. These worked originally, so I didn't really have to touch them. I did have to rewire the wires because I was wiring some lines through there and I broke the connection, so I did have to redo it, but it worked from scratch. This right here, I don't know what it is. I think it's like an old power pole mount or something. If you know what that is, guys, let me know. I wanted to take it out, but honestly, I don't really care about it. If anything, I can, if I need to tow somebody, I can hook up a line right here and just tow them. So it also works with that. But yeah, I think I might leave that there. The boat came with a electric jack plate that's currently not hooked up. I'm not really into it. I will fix it eventually, but for the time being, I don't really need it because this boat's not a shallow water boat. Hardly ever am I gonna have to jack it up super high. So I'm probably you know, eventually I'm going to fix it, but not right now. The engine was originally white. This is a 225 horsepower Johnson Ocean Runner. The year is in 1996. And when I bought this boat, I know my followers or subscribers know it wasn't running at all and it looked terrible. I redid all the electrical components that create spark except for the coils. New stator, new timer base, and now a new power pack. So the engine right now, the only thing I haven't put on yet is the power pack. The power pack is bad. The left side of the bank, the 3 cylinders over here, do not have spark currently. These 3 on this side do, and I know that power pack is the problem. So I'm waiting on that to come in the mail, and then I'll put that on, and then this thing will run perfect. What else? Oh, speaking of the trim tabs, I yanked them off completely and I resealed the entire thing. I resealed every hole that was there with silicone, because the last thing I want is water getting in this boat. Not only does that shorten the lifetime of the transom and the floor, but it just, you know, for a peace of mind, I had to do it. This side of the boat, same story as the other side. So let's hop on in here. So the only thing I have not painted is the deck, and I am gonna put a new gel coat eventually when I'm done with the entire project, because I'm in and out of this boat every single day. You know, it gets extremely dirty, so I do not want to put paint on or gel coat on it yet. I still got my rods over here. I haven't taken them off since the last time I took it out. Let's talk about this stuff over here. There's a water separator right there that I didn't have to replace. It was in decent condition where it'll still work and still get used, so I left that the same. This is one of my wrenches. This is a torque wrench. It's a pretty big wrench. I'd say about 60-70 bucks. And I was trying to take off the flywheel and it literally couldn't do it. It snapped the thing, so that's pretty much shot. We have LEDs right there that I hooked up, but I haven't. When I was wiring new throttle and shifter cables, which are right here, it snapped a ton of wiring, so those are not working. They originally were. I gotta redo that. The motor does have power steering, which is, you know, honestly my favorite part of the boat. If you have a boat that uses a steering cable, it's, you know, sometimes you'll wake up, you'll turn the wheel, it doesn't even crank, you know, it won't even move. So I love that part of it. We put a new fuel filter in the engine just to be safe, of course. What else? Oh, you see these, like, I forgot what they call them, those white rectangles. So there was 2 holes on each side, pretty big holes. I'd say about 3.5 inches wide. I just put those there to cover them up. It does absolutely nothing, but I put them there just to cover those holes up. These are some of my grouper bottom rods. Pound squall, little lever wind. I'm sure you guys don't really care about that. You know, we got that good stuff. Shimano Sustain on a G Loomis. All these other ones here. Let's talk about over here. So the bimini was originally green and I painted it black. It was an absolute pain in the butt to repaint. It took me freaking forever, but it came out super good. These lights were original, and they worked, so I didn't have to change that. These seats were originally white. I painted them black for the time being, but I am going to replace them with some really nice seats in the future. All these poles were chrome. I painted it black just to match the look I'm trying to get. We put 2 new batteries in here. One is a West Marine cranking starter battery, and the other one's a Everstart deep cycle battery. I recommend the Everstart. It's super cheap at Walmart. I think I paid like 70 bucks for it. And yeah, it does pretty good. So let me turn the power on here. So I had to take off this entire thing and restructure it because it was so flimsy. If I yanked this hard enough, I could rip this entire thing off the boat. We went in there, we restructured it. Now it's solid as a rock, and we did the same exact thing with this side. Before I forget, these speakers right here are Bose speakers, one on each side. And it came with this radio, the head unit here. Great radio for the price. Very good. I think it was $120. It sounds awesome. So over here we got our switches. These are all new switches. This one's not working yet. I'm trying to wire a bait pump to this one. So all these other guys work. And I put little labels on everything just so I know exactly what it does. It doesn't look the best currently, but you know, just for right now, I need something that's gonna tell me what the heck the switch is for, because there's like 8 or 9 switches here. So another thing we put, it's a USB charger. It holds 2 cables, but it also it's a voltmeter at the same time, which is, you know, pretty cool. So anytime I'm driving the boat and the power's on, I could just check right here. Right now it says 12.4 volts, which is good. I put all new fuse holders in here, all of them. That was a pain in the butt. GPS works. I didn't have to do anything with that. I installed this compass right here that works. It also has like a little light, which is, I think, this one. It's hard to see right now, but this thing does work with the light. Pretty cool. Yeah, the light's on right now. It's just super hard to see because it's super bright out here. I put that because I'm gonna take this boat so far offshore that, you know, if the GPS somehow fails, I want some type of way to get home. This is the cabin here. It's a little dirty. Trim tab switches right here work. VHF radio works. I think that's about it so far until we go in here. So, just a little tackle box. I built a little door right here because this one didn't have a door originally. That one is specifically just for life jackets. That whole thing is filled up with like life jackets. I think there's like 7 or 8 of them in there. So there's a little drawer right here. Little drawer right here where I kind of just keep important stuff. I keep my boat registration, my trailer registration in here, and just some everyday parts that, you know, are good to have. Obviously we got our emergency kit right there. We got a fire extinguisher. There's all kinds of stuff, wiring, stuff for the carburetors, pretty much just all the extra parts I had I wanted to keep. Let's go inside of here. So let's get that voltmeter out of the way in this tackle box. It's a little dirty in here. I actually slept in here the other day in my driveway. So this is the sink. It does work, but you have to prime it. If I put water, pretty much what I do is I take this thing out and then I get a little water bottle and I pour in water in here until it's full, and then I put it back on. And then what you do is there's a freshwater tank that's underneath this sink, which is in there. I'll show you guys. It's that tank right there. That thing's filled with water. So once you prime it up top, the faucet, you just start going like this and it builds pressure, and then all of a sudden you got a working sink. So that's pretty cool. I do want to put a new faucet in there just so I don't have to prime it. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but... So the cushions originally were green. I used this special vinyl paint to make them black. Some of them are not holding up good, but some of them are. So eventually we're gonna get new seats. But right now I needed something to, you know, at least be comfortable and didn't look terrible. So we put some lights up here on each side. They're LEDs. They work great. They're super bright. Behind this guy right here is all the wiring hidden right there. So I could have done a little better job. Like I said, the boat's still not done. I work on it almost every day. I do have to build a little door for this side, because you can see there's a ton of wiring down there. It just doesn't look good. I'll get around to it, but it's not really on my agenda currently. So, am I missing something here? Let's see. I'm definitely missing something. I did a crazy amount of work to this boat. Oh, I put this little latch here. So the door shuts, but if a heavy wind blows, sometimes it will kind of like open up by itself. So I put this little latch here just to keep it in the same spot, you know. And then this comes over here. And then, yeah. So what else did I do here? Oh, this big ol' drawer right here is the drawer I like to call my tool drawer / oil drawer. I just got some tools in there just in case if I do break down out in the water. I've got plenty of tools to get me back. It's kind of like a storage spot. This side right here, completely empty. I use this for drinks, for, you know, fish, whatever the heck I gotta use it for. There's 2 live wells right here. And the freshwater pump I'm trying to fix right now is right here. So there's the pump. The pump works when you hook it up to the battery. It's not wired up to the switch yet. And I need to buy like a new faucet for this. So that's what I just haven't done it yet. And the front of the boat, haven't really done much. I moved this bow rail back a couple inches because the fiberglass underneath it, over the years of people tugging on it, it kind of just wore out. So I patched up the holes. There's a couple holes right here that I haven't painted yet. Like I said, I'm gonna paint this boat, but not until I'm ready. This is the anchor. And we just took the boat out for the first time the other day, and it was super choppy out in the Gulf. So we were dragging it, and it was just ripping up everything on the bottom. Look at that, there's shells and stuff too. Crazy. So, one big thing I've been holding off on this boat is this guy. Softest part of the boat. This whole boat's solid except for this part. I just haven't been in the mood to redo it yet. I will do it eventually. It's just not really too important for me at the moment. Everybody that comes on, I just say, hey, do not go up here. If you do, you will fall and break and, you know, maybe get ran over by the motor. So everybody knows not to go in there. So guys, that's the boat. That's all the work I've done to it that I can recall. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff that I haven't mentioned. But from looking around, that's about it. Oh, actually, yeah, that's it. So if you're in the mood to buy a project boat, guys, and do something like this, what I've done with this boat. Oh, I painted the steering wheel too. Not a big deal, but if you're ever thinking about doing something like this, guys, it is a crazy amount of work. It really is. This boat is not close to done yet. It looks like it's pretty close, but it's really not. There's a ton of stuff I got to do. The good news is I'm going to keep this boat for a good amount of time. I don't know exactly how many years, but I'm going to keep it. It's kind of my dream boat, to be honest, and it's not even done yet. But if you get a boat this big and you're only working on it by yourself, guys, it takes the amount of time. I mean, you have to literally invest a ton of time and money into it. It's literally like a second job. It's, you know, I love it though. It's what I like to do. I like to fix older boats and make them look great again and let them run good. So pretty much the only thing I really got to do is put gel coat everywhere and fix the bait pump and just little stuff. And then that front rail over there, and that's soft. But I hope you guys liked the video. This thing's a fishing machine. I don't know why the center block is up here. Let me take that off. This thing's a fishing machine. It's gonna be one. This is the boat that's gonna be freaking farther than all the other boats. At least where I'm from. So, hope you guys like the build. It's not done yet, like I said. But stay tuned for the next videos and hit that like button.